In this session, we are going to see major revisions made in Mental Health Act in India. Mental Health Care Act 2017 abolishes the earlier Mental Health Act 1987, which was criticized for absence of rights of mentally ill person. Now this new act is divided into 16 chapters. It redefines mental illness as a substantial disorder of thinking, mood, perception, orientation, or memory that grossly impairs judgment, behavior, capacity to recognize reality, or ability to meet the ordinary demands of life, and mental conditions which are associated with drug abuse or alcohol abuse. But this does not include mental retardation, which is arrested or incomplete development of mind, specially characterized by subnormality of intelligence. So they have redefined this mental illness as such. Coming to determination of mental illness, it has been stated that the diagnostic criteria for mental illness should be uniform all over the country, as well as it should be uniform across the globe. However, determination of mental illness should not be based on the person's political, economical, or social status. Same way, it should not be based on the cultural society, association with any racial or religious groups. This act has increased or enlarged the definition of mental health care professionals. Earlier, they used to include only allopathic postgraduates in psychiatry. But now, as per this new act, Ayurveda professional having a postgraduate degree in Manovigyan or Manas Roga, any homeopathy postgraduate in psychiatry, or Unani practitioner who has done post-graduation in Nafasiyat, and Siddha professional who has done post-graduation in Sirappu, Maruthuva, they are all recognized as mental health care professionals. Advanced directives. A person with mental illness shall have right to make an advanced directive that states how he wants to be treated for the illness, or if he wants to nominate someone as a representative. This act also provides guidelines for revocation, cancellation, or amendment of the advance directives any time by the mentally ill person. This act has elaborated various rights of the mentally ill person. The right to access mental health care and treatment shall mean mental health services of affordable cost, of good quality, such services available in sufficient quantity, accessible geographically without discrimination about gender, sex, sexual orientation, whether the person is homosexual or heterosexual, without the culture, caste, or disability. Any of these should not be considered as ground for discrimination for provision of mental health care and treatment. Moreover, the mentally ill person shall not be subjected to seclusion or solitary confinement. Provisions should be made for provision of treatment of mentally ill person as far as possible within the community itself. Physical restraint has to be made if at all required, but it must be to the minimum possible. No cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment has to be given to mentally ill person. And they have the right to live without discrimination. So equality and non-discrimination should be maintained all the time. Mentally ill person has got right to access for the information about the illness from which he is suffering, as well as they must have access to the treatment which is being provided to them. And they can have restriction about release of such information or disclosure of such information to anybody else, especially the medical records of such a person should be kept confidential. So they have right to confidentiality also. They can choose the people who can meet them. They can choose who can call them. So mentally ill person has right to refuse visitors, to refuse phone calls, to refuse emails. So the communication, they can have choice of making communication with people. Mentally ill person has also rights for legal aid. They can make complaints about deficiencies in healthcare which is being provided to them. The government must organize events to promote mental health and arrange preventive programs regularly for prevention of mental illnesses. Government has responsibility of creating awareness about mental health and also responsibility to reduce stigma associated with mental illness. Appropriate government must establish and specify the duties of central and state mental health authority to look after implementation of the act. Coming to very important point of this act, that is decriminalizing of section 309 of Indian Penal Code. This IPC section had provision of 1 year imprisonment and also fine for a person who has attempted suicide. The recent amendment says that a person who attempts suicide shall be presumed to be suffering from mental illness at that time and will not be punished under the Indian Penal Code. The government shall have a duty to provide care, treatment and rehabilitation to a person having severe stress and who attempted to commit suicide, to reduce the risk of recurrence of attempt to commit suicide. This act also restricts usage of electroconvulsive therapy. It has been stated that ECT should be administered only in cases of emergency, and if at all it has to be administered, it must be given with muscle relaxants and anesthetics. ECT is prohibited in minors. In same way, sterilization as a treatment part for the mentally ill person is also prohibited. Thank you.